recording, and I'm going to go ahead and admit everyone into the meeting. All right, we're live.
Is everyone on?
Yep, take it away, Alex.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. It's afternoon here in California, but it may be evening somewhere else in the country. But anyways, it's an absolute honor for me to start this event. This is the very first time the AACD has done anything like this. That is to take a smile portrait competition live online, and also to announce the winning entries on the internet. So welcome everyone. The Smile Portrait Competition was created for AACD members of all levels to celebrate the impact of beautiful smiles on the faces of our patients. We use that to highlight the collaboration between dentists and ceramists as a team. And you know, our AACD members do indeed create some of the best smiles. And through this celebration, we attract the public's attention to the AACD as the go-to entity for cosmetic dentistry. As seen by the huge number of traffic to our competition portal, your participation has really made this mission come true. And with that in mind, we made a compilation video of all of your masterpieces, and we would like to share that with you at this time. And now I would like to welcome AACD President, Dr. David Chan.
Well, thank you, Alex, for the introduction. And as the incoming president of the AACD, I am very honored and excited to be here today to participate in the 2021 AACD Smile Portrait Competition. Just looking at that video that you just saw, there was a lot of hard work from everybody, from the organizers to the participants and to our sponsors, that all collaborated to make this program so successful in a very short period of time. Basically, since inception of this, we've had over 30,000 views of this competition, with over 6,000 people voting, and in a very short period of time, matter of about a few weeks. So I'm so excited for this. And however, given the fact that this program was made successful because we had some very nice sponsors that was able to support this inaugural meeting for this program. And I'd like to introduce those sponsors who made this event possible for all of us. So without further ado, I'd like to start with our first sponsor, which is Clinician's Choice. And they are a company that provides very innovative products as well as education throughout North America for our clinicians. And so I'd like to pass this over to Mr. Brian Allen. And he's going to talk about a little bit about their involvement with the Smile Portrait Competition and also about Clinician's Choice. Okay, Brian, you want to take over?
I think we're missing Brian, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll get a hold of Brian in a little bit. Why don't I go move on to our second sponsor, and let's see if Brian will come on here. So our other sponsor is Natural 8 Dental Studios, and Mr. Ryan Lim is the person that sponsored this event as well, and his laboratory is the one that created some of these beautiful restorations that you see in some of the portraits that were presented in this competition. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the screen over to Mr. Ryan Lim. Thank you, Ryan.
Hi, this is Ryan from Natural 8 Dental Laboratory. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the many people who's involved in successfully planning and implementing the Smile Poetry competition. Especially, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Alex Nguyen for giving me the chance to be a sponsor of this great event. When I heard that Dr. Nguyen, he was planning for Smile Poetry competition, I totally agree with him. This is really great event. Even though it is named as a competition, it actually just not only compete with the others to win, but it will make us grow ourselves and give us a good influence, such as we will have studied camera, flashlight, and practice how to take good poetry pictures. And also you will have been rewarded by seeing patients when they are happy by looking at their own poetry picture with a new smile, which is really priceless. And also, we are understanding the doctor, the patient, and the lab technician were able to harmonize and communicate to make the case nicely and successfully done. Since I am also running a dental lab and working as a dental lab technician, I understand how important communicate between doctor, patient, and lab technician. So I think through this event, we may learn some lessons.
And also, I invite some doctors around me to participate in this competition. However, many doctors says they are not ready for this year, but they says they would definitely want to challenge next year. I hope this competition get bigger and bigger and keep on going next year and another year and every year, so that it will have a good influence on many people in our profession. Our natural aid dental laboratory, we promise to continue spawning if chance is given. Again, thank you to everyone who participate and to those who worked hard for the organized event. And I will wrap it up with congratulations to all the winners. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. One of the purpose of the competition is not just to showcase our work, but it's also sharing information on how, as dentists, we can really showcase the work using photography. And with that, we asked some of our participants to come share their pearls of wisdom. And the first guest for today, I'd like to introduce Dr. Bernie Villadiego.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex. Wow, this is a wonderful competition, and thanks for putting it on. Can everybody hear me? Am I good?
Yes.
Okay, good. So they asked me to speak about doing outdoor photography. The reason why I started doing that is because I actually relocated my office to a smaller facility, and so I lost my studio. So I know that that I'm a pretty good photographer, so I thought I could just do this outside. So now I just want to share with you some of the reasons why doing outdoor photography is just as wonderful as doing studio photography. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here, and let me know that it's on and that it works. Is it working?
Yep.
Is it on? Yeah. Okay. So this is my information. My office number, Power of the Smile, is my dental website, and BBVDDS is my email. So just give me a call. I love to talk about photography and dentistry. So if you have any questions about what I present, just let me know. So the pros of natural light photography, you need less equipment. You don't need the strobe lights. You don't need all the electrical stuff, that soft boxes and reflectors. You don't need any of that. Using natural light, a lot of the professional photographers, they try to simulate natural light using the strobe lights. So you don't need the strobe lights. Also, you have more variety. You can use many backgrounds. So the monotony of having the same background all the time goes away. You can also save space in your dental office, as well as you can go anywhere and take photos. And the reason why I started doing this is I started watching wedding photographers take pictures all the time, and they come out with great images. So I started doing that. The cons of natural light photography is there's less control of the natural elements like wind, rain, and sun. You also need good photography skills. You need to know about aperture and exposure and all that. Also, another con is there's lack of privacy. There's a lot of looky-loos that's always gonna be wondering what you're doing. Also, if sometimes the background, if you're not in the right position, the backgrounds can be distracting, as well as sometimes you have limited time. But, so I'm just going to give you about 6 or 7 tips on natural light photography. Just be aware of the light. Pay attention to what the light is doing, where the light is going, and the shadows, and how the shadows are falling on your subject. Also be aware of the direction of the light, where the light's coming from, and if it's a diffused light or if it's a direct sunlight. So you want to make sure that you have a direct sunlight I'm sorry, you want to make sure that you do not have direct sunlight because it presents as harsh skin tones and creates hard contrasty shadows. Make sure that you have nice diffused indirect lighting so that it produces soft, gentle skin tones, and it's just more appealing to most people using soft lights. Look, it's all about location, location, location. Always look for a place where the light is coming, where the light's coming from, and make sure that it's indirect. So this is what direct light looks like, where the skin tone is blotchy and there's too contrasty. Direct light, I made this patient move to a different lighting, so it's indirect, so it looks, so the light is more indirect and you have a nicer skin tone. So what I like to use, I like to use large windows. You could use large windows with curtains or make it frosted. And I use indirect lighting. You can see here where the light's coming from the windows and where she's not directly in line with the sunlight. She's indirect. So I'm using reflectors to bounce light to her. I also, these are some of the images that that I've taken using just large windows. Or you can actually find shaded areas. You know, I found this staircase, and it presents as nice lighting. There's lots of nice walls, white walls around. And so basically, I had the patients go to where the shadow is. And this is basically like a high key photo that I used, and because of all the white walls. So you're bouncing the light from the sun, and just make sure that she's not in direct sunlight. And so she's in the shadow. I also can use doorways. You know, the light's coming from the doorways is indirect, and you can position your models just slightly off the sunlight. You can also use doorway photography. So I've had this where the light's coming from the doorway, and I just position the model close enough to the doorway where the light can actually come through. And these are what some of the images look like. These are more doorway photos. And if you can't find a nice shade, then you create one. So we have a model here. She's right in the direct sunlight. The sun is about 1-2 o'clock ahead, right on top. So what we use is we use a light panel diffuser. So we basically create the shadows so that her skin tone looks nice and soft. And so these are some of the photos with it. So, you know, it's great natural light, looks awesome. You can actually position your models between the doorways. And of course, background, background, background. So I'm running out of time here. Also use the background. You can see where the background is and make sure that the patient is just far away from the background, so that the background is nice and far away, so that you can isolate her. And the major focus is on her. So these are some of the pictures. And you can actually use backgrounds and make sure that the patient or the person is far away from the background, so that they don't blend in. And I'm just going to go real quick here. Use aperture priority as a semi-automatic mode. You select the aperture and the camera selects everything else. So I use an aperture of f4 or 3.2 or 2.8 just to make sure the background is nice and blurred. And I use a cloudy white balance. Camera lens, I used 85 to 120. And so that way you have nice proportions with the face and the shape of the face. And of course, you don't want a wide angle lens distortion. So just to recap, because I only have a limited time here and I don't want to bore you, just beware of the light. Number 2, location, location, location. Number 3, background, background, background. Number 4, you got to make sure that you blur the background, make your model the center of attention. Camera settings, use aperture priority mode with an aperture of f4 or faster, and use the camera lens that's within the 85 to 120 millimeter range. So that's all in a nutshell. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Bernie. I've always been a fan of your photography, and to hear you share those tips were really useful. Not all of us, like you said, have the space to to do studio lights and all that good stuff. So I think I'm gonna have to try to go outside and take more pictures like that. So thanks again for sharing.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to teach photography in 7 minutes. So
Yeah, it's a great teaser introduction to the type of techniques that you use, though. So we really appreciate that.
thank you for having me.
Thanks. So the next guest I would like to introduce is Dr. Richard Canizares, all the way from Puerto Rico, and he's going to talk about indoor photography versus outdoor photography. So please welcome Dr. Canizares.
The boys, hon, how are you? How's everybody?
Doing
Good.
well, Ricky. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. I just removed my mask, been wearing it the whole day. So I'm still in the office, still seeing patients here in Puerto Rico. It's 4 o'clock, so still have few patients to go. Almost done for a Friday. So thank you so much for the invitation. Bernie, amazing lecture on outside photography. I do have to try that, Bernie, because honestly, I work on a building and it's hard, but I really admire your photography. Okay.
Thank you.
Really nice, really nice. So they wanted me to talk a little bit about my picture. Okay. I don't have any presentation, but wanted to talk a little bit about how did I do the picture of my portrait competition. So I'm here next to the studio so that I can show you my setup. Okay, let me remove my background. Okay, I still have, let me see, background filters, none. Okay. Joana, ven acá un momentito para que me grabes aquí. Ah, no, me voy a dejar aquí. So I'm here again, okay? So this is my setup, okay? This is the setup that I have. Right now, I'm using 2 studio lights. I'm using the newer with 300 watts. This is another one. So this is what I'm using right now. If I'm gonna take a picture with a white background, I'm just gonna use an additional light, okay, with a big softbox. That's my additional light. It doesn't have the big softbox, but that's what I use when I'm doing picture with portrait pictures with white background. Okay, so my picture was a really easy setup. Okay, I just used 2 studio light, like I said. Okay, and then a black background. Okay, and the patient was carrying the refractor. Okay, and I took my picture. This is the lens that I use. This is a 100 millimeter. This is the focal lens that I use. Okay, and the lens that I like the most for portrait pictures. Okay, and this picture was taken with a 750 Nikon D750. Okay. What else can I tell you? The aperture that I used was 12 f12, and the ISO was 200. Okay. What else can I tell you about the picture? And then the shutter speed, it's gonna be 125. Honestly, it's an easy setup. Okay, everybody can take this kind of pictures. Okay, it's all about having fun. Okay, I'm sorry that the makeup artist didn't make it. She was supposed to be here with me to explain her technique, okay? But basically, just have fun to take pictures, and that's it. I mean, just nowadays you can buy a lot of equipment, photography equipment for really, really cheap price. Okay, so you can go to Amazon. Actually, the studio lights that I have right now, they're not expensive at all. So everybody can go ahead and go to Amazon and buy this type of studio light. I think that's it. I mean, if you have any questions regarding my pictures, you can always ask. Any questions so far?
I have a question. You had your makeup artist paint on the model's face. It looked really good, really original. You could have submitted that as a smile art category. Was that paint that she used, or what is that? That
Yeah,
makeup?
it was actually paint. So the funny thing is that I wanted something really different. So and then the idea came up because I just all of a sudden I said to her, let's do something with paintings, okay? And she told me that she had paintings in her house and she could bring them in. So everything was done with paintings, yeah. And it was a really creative way of doing it. Like I had something on my mind, and then she did everything else. I mean, it was amazing, really. I mean, she's really talented.
It looked great.
Thank you.
We wish she could have shown up today to tell us about her technique for
I
applying those
know.
things.
Sadly, she didn't make it. About an hour ago, she said that she didn't make it. So she was supposed to be here. So I'm sorry for that.
Well, thank you for showing us your studio and your technique today, Ricky.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Really, I really appreciate it. And it was a really fun competition, really. Outstanding pictures in the competition. So I just want to congratulate everybody that was involved in the competition. Okay.
Yeah, it was a huge, wonderful portfolio of cases that really represent AACD dentists. So we're glad you were a part of it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, Ricky Canizares. Okay, so David, is Clinician's Choice rep going to speak?
Yeah, Alex, I was communicating with Brian, and I think he's here right now. So let me go ahead and introduce another sponsor that we have to make this program possible. And he is from Clinician's Choice, and Clinician's Choice is a company that provides innovative products to all dental practices, and also they provide education to all the dentists. They've been doing this for some time. So I have the privilege of having Mr. Brian Allen from Clinician's Choice to speak to us a little bit today. You're on, Brian.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Chan, and to the board, to all the participants that are on today, as well as the listeners across the globe. I think it's just a wonderful opportunity for Clinician's Choice to be here to, most importantly, thank the AACD, the membership, all of the constituents that really make up a group of dentists and dental technicians, quite frankly, that actually change lives every day by creating the wonderful smiles that we've been so fortunate over the past few months to look at on screen. Unfortunately, not in person, but I know when Dr. Chan and Dr. Calvo spoke to us early on about participating in the program, we truly were enthusiastic about the opportunity to be in Denver, to walk through a particular area where all of these smiles would be displayed in person and interact with people as the voting would be happening. But the fact that over 6,000 people have taken time to go online to actually spend time looking at the great work that I want to say close to 70 or 80 doctors have put forward with the help of their technicians in the indirect cases, and certainly with the direct cases with some of the great composite work that's been presented. But I think Clinician's Choice wanted to share with this group specifically that we're really here as your partner. We truly believe that our ability to help you not only with innovative products, the education, but also the commitment to help you deliver clinical excellence every day with your clients is really, really important to us. And we want you to be sure that you can count on us every day to be here to help you with those challenging challenging cases that you are faced with, but also in your day-to-day treatment plans that you're putting forward. And I think the most important thing here, Dr. Chan, is I want to just share with the group that we know that the smiles that you're creating with the fit, the form, the function, the training that you put forward, with all of the education that you've taken with one another, and the camaraderie and the spirit that the AACD puts forth, really does change the lives of your patients. And we know that as patients. We have clinicians on staff here, dentists on staff, and we see the work that they do. But most importantly, all of you are changing lives, and the photography is great. But most importantly, I think the livelihood of the patients that you're treating, how they feel about themselves, how they go about and function in society, it really is life-changing. So we want to wish you continued success. We assure you we will be partnering with you again in 2022 with this campaign. We hope that you'll take that as our commitment right now, but we see this as a really great way to display the great work and see the competition amongst the group, but also the camaraderie that the AACD stands behind. So Dr. Chan, thank you. I'll pass this back over to you, and we want to wish everybody good luck. But there's always a little competition, and I think it's going to be great to see what happens here in the next few minutes. Thank you again.
Okay, so I think the moment is here for us to present the winning entries. And with that, I'd like to turn it over again to our president, Dr. David Chan.
Well, thank you again, Alex. It's an honor for me. I get the exciting part, but this is the great part I love. And I have to say, you know, having looked through the competition from its inception and looking at all the beautiful smiles from all three categories, if I was going to vote on that, it'd be a very difficult choice because they were all just so wonderful. But nevertheless, the voters have spoken, and I have the pleasure of announcing the winners of this 2021 AACD Smile Portrait Competition winners. And I'm going to start with the first category. And the first category is the Rising Stars category. And this category is open to members, students, residents, member dentists, and technicians who have been practicing for 10 years or less out of school. And I have the great honor of announcing this year's Rising Star Designer category winner as Dr. Darya Timin and her lab, Frontier Dental Lab. Congratulations, Dr. Timin. Beautiful, beautiful. Next down on the category, I have also the privilege of announcing the winner for our category called Smile Design Aficionados. And it's open to member dentists and clinicians who have been practicing more than 10 years out of school. And it's my privilege to announce the winner for the 2021 Smile Design Aficionado category winner, Dr. Steve Barret and Rebecca Wade. And finally, our next category and last category is Smile Art. And it's open to members and residents and all members of dentist technicians, regardless of years in practice. This category explores the creative display of dental art in the smile with portrait or close-up of the smile. And it's a pleasure for me to announce the winner of this year's Smile Art category, Dr. Ned Shimizu and Eric Hoff as the ceramicist. Wow, congratulations to everybody. Congratulations. And now it would be the winners will be receiving their trophies by mail. And those will be coming down. So check in your mailbox for those. Those are coming to you very soon. And lastly, I just want to mention that it's very important because with these competitions, we do have to abide by certain parameters. And one of the things I like to remind everybody of is please adhere to the disclaimer that everybody agreed to before they enter this competition. And basically the disclaimer for the AACD Smile Portrait Competition is these photographs have been submitted independent of AACD's credentialing process, and in this format have not been graded or examined by credentialing processes. So in addition, they do not necessarily represent cases that have passed AACD accreditation standards. The AACD always recommends through consultations to understand all options available before choosing to engage in cosmetic alterations of natural teeth. All right, and that concludes our winners. Alex, you want to take over?
Thank you, Dr. Chan. And once again, we would like to thank members of the Smile Portrait Committee, our staff liaison, Sarah Doff, especially all the participating dentists and technicians who came together to create this wonderful portfolio that really represent the essence of the quality of AACD member dentists. And we also really appreciate the sponsorship of Clinician's Choice, as well as Natural 8 Dental Studio. We just want to let you know that unfortunately this year, because of the cancellation of the conference, we could not do the second round of voting, which would have been limited to only conference attendees. That would totally have a different voting dynamics, as you all know, because your colleagues will look at the cases and the pictures differently from how the public view these cases. So that was the fun part that we were hoping to do. And we're looking forward to being able to do that next year when the conference resumes. And with that in mind, thank you very much. And this concludes our very first online announcement of winners for the AACD Smile Portrait Competition. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And we look forward to working with you next year for, on another outstanding competition. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Congratulations to all the winners.
Congratulations indeed.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.